Hello and thank you for joining me for this special video. Today we'll be covering how to set up the user dashboard. The dashboard is the standard landing page for anyone who logs in, and it's configurable for each user. It has several options designed to give the user control, enhance efficiency, visibility, and functionality. It all starts with the default home screen and the edit button right down here in the bottom right. There are several sections in the window, and if you're using a smaller screen device, you might actually need to scroll in order to see them all. In the top section, you may have up to 5 options to choose from, as I do. It simply depends on what your organization is tracking and what role you have in that process. Depending on how your administrator has configured the options, you may only have 1, 2, 3, or some other number. And here are a couple of the most common examples that you may see. You may be wondering, which one do I actually choose? Well, that depends, like I said, on your role. So those persons who are looking to conduct asset transactions, placing asset purchase orders, and administering the system, well, they would typically start on the BarCloud asset screen. If, on the other hand, your role is primarily to manage your own assets, make reservations, or request custody, then I would recommend starting off with the My Assets page. Users who are primarily conducting stock transactions, administering the stock side, adding new data points, running reports, or approving orders should probably start off in the BarCloud Stock area. Anyone who simply needs to place requests for consumables would be well served by starting off in the stock shop. And finally, anyone who primarily looks up locations via the floor plans and maps can now directly load into the BarCloud Layouts page. The Choose Columns option here is pretty straightforward. As you go through and select, any of the panels that you will choose later will be broken up into 1, 2, or 3 columns. The font is pretty simple in there too. You'll have 3 different size options: your small, the standard, and your large. Now, once you've made it past those 2 portions, we're in the most important section, which is the panels themselves. And in here, we've actually broken this into 3 categories. If you're looking for general information, that is information that may have quick start guides, links, information about the account itself, that's what you'll find here in the general section. Now, the second category, System, focuses on system-wide data. That's where you're going to have your charts and graphs and your recent transactions. The final category actually gets down to the user specifics. So this may say My Assets like it does here on this side, or it may just be titled User, as you would see on the stock side of things. These are going to have data specifically important to the individual user that's looking at them. Even though several users may have the same panel, the actual data that they see here may be different. You may have noticed a phone icon next to some of these, and that's there to indicate which of these functions will still be visible when logged in through a mobile device's web browser. Now, below that, we do have the Help section with a link to play this video, as well as a link to your wiki. Each user will go through and set up how they want. So in this example, I'm going to come in and I'm going to set up my BarCloud Stock. I'm going to choose 2 columns, and I do like the standard font size, so I'm going to stick with that. Now for the panels, well, I've been doing this for a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the quick start. But I do want my life cycle and my snapshot in here. I personally do like the charts and graphs and the ability to see some recent transactions, and I do want a little bit of circle data in here. So now, once I save and close, the system is going to offer me to go ahead and arrange everything. Every user will have this option, and whether or not they choose to have the system rearrange it or not, they'll still be able to, at any point in time, come in and rearrange things, drag things around, redistribute, and reset however it is that they see fit. Every panel will have some level of interactivity, whether it's simply links to get into specific transactions, clicking on data circles to actually be taken to a list of those applicable items. And the options don't end there. Most of the panels will also have a 3-dot icon. This will allow you to go in and turn different parts on and off. For the charts and graphs section, it actually allows you to go through and choose which tabs are actually going to be displayed. And from there, which charts are available under those specific tabs. And again, every user can configure this to exactly as they need it. For your circle data, those options will actually allow you to turn off certain attributes. So if it's not something you need to know, it's easy to take that out of the system. So now, armed with this knowledge, you're ready to go ahead, come in here, click the icon, and set your screen up to exactly how you want. Choose your default location, your columns, your sizes, and the panels you want. And from there, arrange them as you see fit and configure them so that they're exactly what you need to help you be more efficient. Thank you for joining me for this quick update video. Be sure to stay tuned for the latest BarCloud updates.